Some lazy damn shit. Does this every time. You're probably wondering why I wasn't in the screen when you just saw it come live. Well, that's because server or whatever it is, but this is just, so it seems. So I thought, well, let me try that again. I mean, look what happened. I hope everyone's having a cast stitch when you want to do a finished edge when you don't have a serger. It's not exactly like a serged edge, but overcast or overlock foot or whatever looks like this. And I got my little magnifying glass out so you could hopefully you can kind of see it has the wide space for zigzag. It's got a separator, a metal separator in there, and the machine, and you're not using your serger, you need that to keep that raw edge right there. It literally just touches it, and that way the stitches go over over the edge. They cast over the edge, hence overcast foot. So this is the normal, typical clip-on one that you'll find. Well, in my search through the ones I can get without too much trouble, this particular sewing machine has a, you know what I'm talking about, screwdriver. I'm looking for my screwdriver, and I don't see it. Because I was out here playing with all these different feet. And I thought, well, we'll play with this and then show everybody how to use one. I think this is one in here. I don't think it's a seam ripper. What is that? Come out where you are. Ouchie. Probably a seam ripper. Watch. Make a liar out of myself. Yeah, it's a little seam ripper. Where's my it recently? You can always use a dime or something to kind of use. If you are so inclined. Hate me, I'm digging for a darn screwdriver. I normally have one right here. And I'm wasting everybody's time by fussing around looking for one. Let's see. Throw one in here. I'm going to have to remember to leave one screwdriver in this top drawer so I can just grab it. I don't see one in here. Isn't it funny? No, that's not funny. Do I have it in here? Put all these tools in my sewing box. And there he was. There's a little bubba. A little screwdriver. This machine did not have a screwdriver when I got it. I got it from Goodwill. And I need to remember to put at least one screwdriver in the little accessory thing here. I'm going to stick this little guy in there because I have several in my recently organized a bunch of items. So I'm going to unscrew the screw. I know that's an overcast foot, but I don't know what machine it goes to because fortunately there are some presser feet of, bigger name brand, Juki or whatever. I think your feet are real particular, but that will fit other machines. And this is a Brother XL 562. It's the one that I fixed up and doctored it up so it could work. And when I was working on it, I noticed that it has a spool pin which goes here, and then one on the top. There's a little hole up here to put a spool pin in. But is that when you run out of bobbin thread and you want to wind another bobbin, you don't have to unthread your machine to do it. You use the extra spool pin. This also means you can use a needle on. As long as you have the right needle, you can do that. Well, this company this goes for. This is a Janome. It's a Janome overcast stitch or overcast foot. And I don't know if you can see, the little brush is up on this top edge here. It's a little white brush. Maybe you can see it that way. And it's on top of that little black piece. I'm guessing, because I don't know, I'm guessing it is an overcast presser feet. And I just went until I got to the other named machines other than Singer and Brother and Kenmore. And then Janome popped up. And there was this one. So I thought, this is a Janome one. I've just been using it. Which you can use the largest zigzag stitch on your machine, typically. Whereas this Janome, not so much. Now, the difference between the Janome overcast foot, and I think was very interesting, is, I don't know if you could see when I held it up, but there are two wires in the space where it does that overcasting. Whereas on the normal clip-on, it's just a metal bar that goes like through the middle of it. So, or universal, I call it, clip-on. And hopefully you'll be able to see that wire in there, kind of like a Serger foot, that has, so that the two needles can go on either side of it. That's what made me think of the twin needles to use to do this at the moment. Have one, but it's fussing at me, so I may have to do some settings on it. I don't know. Actually, I lost the presser foot for it somehow. In moving my my big Serger around, I lost the presser foot. It happens. And all the presser feet I have is for one, which was a white sewing machine, and the white sewing machine presser feet do not fit a Singer. No, they don't. They might fit a brother. So it came today, and I've been playing with it. And yeah, it's a Singer. I went against my own thing. The price is right. The features looked pretty good, and it seemed like it was pretty simple. And I thought, well, cone one, which is over there on the other table, it's a Singer, and I loved it when it was working. So maybe they do better with Sergers than they do with sewing machines, because I don't like their sewing machines. But I digress. So this is the Janome foot for casting or overlocking. Now, unless you know what the settings are for that foot, like if this came with the Janome machine, it would tell you to overcast every single machine they make, that every single presser foot is going to have the same size cutout in it for your needle to do the zigzag motion, because they're not. As you saw when I did a little close-up on these to show you these two next to each other, this one's a lot narrower. So I can't do a very wide zigzag stitch on this. And I hate breaking twin needles, so I don't just put them in there. This is what a twin needle is. Well, when I get these, when I order them, they always come in threes. I kind of wondered why, but now I kind of get it. They come in 3 different widths. You've got, it's like 2/8, 2/8, so that you can do different widths of decorative top stitching, or what I'm going to do here. Those are the twin needles. The only difference between a twin needle and a single needle is the 2 needles. And the 2 flat side to the back, unless you got one of those funny machines. I was hoping that it would be the wider width that would work with this foot, and it's not. That's why they have 3 different widths, just in case you have a machine and you want to still do the stitch, but you're going to overcast with an overcast foot. If it's a cotton woven fabric, like jersey cotton, or what you use for like kids' clothes or whatever, and it's one that typically has a history of fraying, then you want to make sure you use your pinking shears. I have 2 different kinds of pinking shears. One of them does the zigzag, and another one does I call it the half moon. I prefer the half moon, except in this case, these are cushion covers for, they're cushion covers for actually on a boat. So I use the zigzag cutting pinking shears. I keep forgetting what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see the zigzag. What I found. Let me see the zigzag. There's the zigzag edge, if you can. Yeah, I think you can see right there. So since it's a zigzag edge, you lift up the presser foot, put the twin needles in there. Oh, and to thread the machine, you just put both threads on top of your thread guides, and then put them. The one that goes, your main one, like it's not like the spare, like for winding a bobbin. You put that one in the left needle like you would on a serger. And the one on the right, you put it in the right needle, just like on a serger. So I'm just doing this on scraps so that you can see what a twin needle does with that foot. And then, I'll take the twin needles out and we'll do a single needle and show you the difference. Because there is a difference. But I got to cut one side off to do that. There they are. See, I didn't lose those. Can't lose these things. I lose the little stuff all the time. So once you do, as it's set up now, with the twin needle on one side and a You should be able to see it because I'm using a gray as one of the two colors. It's a little darker against this white. You should be able to see it. So this is going to be with the twin needle and with the Janome foot. So if you have a Janome, if you've never used a twin needle for this particular design, you set your machine on a stretch stitch, because technically this is a stretch stitch, and you want to set it where, see, I have this is not a real wide opening. What I had to do was hand-wise, without the thread in there, turn it till it did a full design and watch where the needles weren't hitting the metal. And so for the setting on this is like at a 2.5 zigzag width. So that's what I'm using, is a zigzag stretch stitch. Looks like a ladder. I don't know what they call it. I just call it bar. That is the guide. This little black metal piece. There's also one on here. That, line it up with that and keep it flush with that all the way. So I got my needles in there. Let's do a little row here and show you. It should be enough to show you. Yeah. I'm going to take that out. Up. Back. And this is with the 2 threads. Even, it's zigzag cut with the pinking shears, but the threads are coming up in between those, and that's what's going to keep it from fraying any further out. So it gives it a nice finished edge. Just like that. Now I'm kind of sad that I don't have to use this machine to finish off my project, because my new Serger got here, which I was so thrilled about. The twin needle in there, just a regular needle with flat box. I just hope I can thread it, because I found out that I really need some new glasses. So we'll say a prayer and hope I don't take 5 minutes to do this. In it, so bad. I'm going to take the extra thread off, the one on the spool above, not the main one. We'll pull that one, just pull that one through. Okay. I don't need to do that. I don't even need it for when I'm finishing up sewing the rest of the cushions. And I'm going to do this re-threading of the machine, because it pulled it up through it. And there's my almond thread. See, is it? Nope. It'll get kind of raggedy ended, so you want to make sure that you cut it to get a nice smooth end. If you cut it on a diagonal, it tends to feed through the needle better. I'm going to see if I can find a manual for it. A free download online would be great. Get in there. So this one has an automatic threader, but it's off. So I think the wire in it might be bent. Like I said, this was secondhand. It was a Goodwill donation. Paid in total about $17, and that was including shipping. The machine itself was $4.95. And people look at me like, "Are you kidding me?" It's like, no, I got proof. Got a receipt. I took a chance. I just wanted to, it looked like a brother machine that might have one. I have people that don't have machines, and so I give it away. I do that every Christmas too. And I don't think this one wants to go in there, does it? Well, and now my prescription's off. Because one more time, I want to take this. But that's because I haven't had a chance to fix the threader. Okay, there it is, right there. I'm gonna get in there. And then it's fun watching some old woman trying to thread a needle. And she knows she needs new glasses. This is what you call time. Other people have taught me over the years. Wetting the back of the needle with their finger. And actually that one's worked pretty darn bottom. That's and so I'm going to do this. Oh wait, I need to put a different color thread on there for you. Anyway, I'll do it in the bobbin. Same brand name, but I want you to be able to see the stitches. And with white on white, you're not going to be able to see it. Let's see. I know there's one here. I just filled up a bunch of them. You know what? In the other room. There you go, disappearing again on you. Nope, they're right here. All right. I've got some bright red that's sticking here. My stash of bobbins is always the same brand thread, unless I've got it in a different box. It says heavy duty, and so I know that this will work with. Put in the top some. It's a thicker weave thread, and it doesn't like other threads. It only likes guide, the edge guide there, and just stitch it with the 2 threads instead of 3. Okay, you're going to see a major difference between the 2. I mean, it's thread instead of 2. And you want to get off my fingers, please? Thank you. And as you can see, I think you can see that one. You can see that it overcast it, but you see how sparse it is. That's why I used a twin needle, because that's what single. And now I'm going to switch to this other foot and use that one that has the wider space in it, and show you something with that, just so you can see the difference in the 2. And basically, they're doing the same stitch. Only thing different is one is wider than the other. And this one actually does 1/4 inch. The spacing looks like it's a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to increase the, hit the metal. So what I did with the other ones, I put the widest spot, if it would actually stitch without breaking, but I was hand turning it, so there was no power behind it to mess it up. I'm trying to see where this one goes. It goes all the way up. Yeah. Okay. This one was fine. Okay. So the universal foot, overcast foot, actually works for the largest and widest edging stitch. Scare myself. Whew, that scared me. I don't know if it hit metal or what that was, but it made a noise I didn't like. And now you can really see this design really well. But that's with the single thread. Now, can you imagine what this looks like with a double needle? Shall we find out? Shall we try the bigger needle? Will the bigger one work? Well, let's see. That's how you can tell. This is the medium size one that you use first with the Janome foot. So I'm going to put in the bigger one without threading it at first to make sure that it's not too big. And I don't want to come out of there. Just so I gotta grab it out of here. That's a little skinny. I can only see using those like on maybe I'm thinking like collars and stuff. But I need to grab the big one out of here. I figure out how to open the bag. Oh, there it is. So I'm gonna take the regular twin needle, but the bigger one, the daddy one, and see if when I do that, I can always dial down exact. It's hitting the foot. So if I want to make sure that doesn't hit the foot, I want it as close to the edge as possible. 4 is too big for that width. So I'm going to take, and it may just be that that particular one is too wide. It's obviously too wide. It's just not going to work with that foot. So I can take that out and try the one, the medium-sized one. I guess I was on a breaking needle binge a while back. Every time I put a double needle in something, I broke it. I hated that. Oh, I see. I'm noticing something. Now, remember I told you I have different feet that are overcast feet? Well, some of them are shaped a little different. This is one of those, I call it cheap universal ones. And I've got it on 2.5. Question is it going to go all the way? And I want to make sure that when both the needles go this way, that they do not hit the side if they're hitting the side. So I already know that more than likely, as long as the metal bar in the middle goes between these, when I first put it in there, that it will be able to fit. And you can also take it and sit it in one side where that metal bar, a metal divider is there, and this is the edge. And as long as there's 2 needles go in there, which I could do that right now, can I? Because you know that whole thing is going to move to there. So let's see if that one actually would do it. That's not going to do it there. Not interesting. Back to using the Janome foot. Or I can look through the rest of my, might have a little different cutout. It might have a thinner divider. It bends in. So if I were to do this at a fast speed, no, it's not going to work. So I know I can use this with a single needle, this foot. To use a double needle, not so much. So I would color spaced together. Shows that difference between the Janome foot and the generic, you get those little 6-piece sets of presser feet. But it's fun to experiment with different presser feet to find out what else they can do. Like, what else can you do with the satin foot? What can you do with a zipper foot? What can you use instead of a zipper foot? Well, those are all things that I can show you. But I don't know what you would like to see unless you put it in the comments. So I hope you've enjoyed this kind of like presser foot adventure, and that a Janome presser foot, you got to watch where you're setting on. Actually, any overcast foot, as far as how wide your zigzag part of your stretch stitch, or it's going to zigzag back and forth, and that will also determine whether or not you can use the the twin needle or not. Now, just one little thing is like this one. I only put that middle size needle on. So this is the real tiny one. I know the big one doesn't fit. I know the medium one does fit, but does the small one. And how would I set it up? Well, I'm going to put it in like I would normally. Secure it. And then, because it has 2 little wires, it doesn't have a solid metal piece that separates separates the stitches from one side to the other. So this one, that's interesting. If I were to do, I'll put it on 4 and just say, my hand. So when I put it on 4, the little tiny double needle, it goes all the way to the side. It's not hitting any metal, it's doing what it's supposed to. And then, but coming back, that's what I want to say. Coming backwards, where does it go? Let's see. I gotta turn it a couple more times to see where it goes. This is exciting. I can't wait to see. Finish this there. But it's going the little metal, the seconds. And that would be really cool. Do you think I should try? I should actually try it. Don't you think? I really should try to do it. So let me get that threaded in there. And this is probably because the needles are so darn close together. But maybe I'll luck out this time. Maybe I'll get lucky. Like there. Okay. And I got the other color. Now I can use a bobbin on there. For the other spool, and stick that on there. It fits. And thread that out just like I did with the original one. Like this. Now, I'm one of those ones that always loves thinking outside the box, and if I come up with something really cool new, I got to do it because I'm anxious to see what this does now. Just because that little divider in there has a purpose in the overcasting, I want to see how this does. And when they're real close together, it makes it harder to get it threaded. You don't want to wait another year to get the thread in there, right? Don't do that. Sometimes sticks my hands and they get mess. My hands are like magnets to the thread. Get in there. Come on. Go, go, go. Go, go. It doesn't want to do. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't do very well with tweezers because my hands are up. There we go. Got it. I did the little slide up the back of the needle thing. Walker. I'm going to dip it under the foot, the back. Lift it up first, silly girl. Now I'm going to trim off an edge with the scissors just so we got something brand new to look at. I don't want you looking at old stuff. Let's see what. I'm excited, aren't you? This is like something new. Like I found it. Hopefully. I'll turn a couple times just to make sure it's not bumping into anybody. Yeah, it's not. Okay. Let's see what we got. And I see a beautiful overcasting. Oh my goodness, that is really nice. I need to go closer together than I imagined. Let's take a minute. I gotta look at it myself. That is very nice. That's what I would probably, because I want you to say how beautiful this finish is, and you can't afford a serger. This takes a little longer because it's not a serger. They go so fast. But this, let's say, get you over there. Isn't beautiful. Let me turn around so you can see it a little clear on the. You don't have a serger? No problem. You got an overcast foot, you're all set. I need to serge two things at once. Even though this isn't a serger, it's a good it's a good substitute, don't you think? Like I said, put in the comments if you'd like to see more presser feet, shown and demonstrated how to use them and all the other weird that I do with them. Because I do some. I swap out when I can't find the presser foot I want. I find one that'll actually do the job that's not meant to do it. And I don't know if you guys do that, but I do. And subscribe. See coming out. If you want to see them and be one of the first ones to see them, you subscribe, and that's how you get notified. Thank you for watching your show. It seems, and I will see you.